had to build up the facility because the original facility started off at just over 7,000 square feet.
Right.
2 rooms with a large doorway between them.
Okay.
And we could barely get 3 or 4 parties in simultaneously.
Here or Orchard Park?
This is all Orchard Park. This is
Orchard
all 2002 to 2000 maybe.
Right, because this used to be a Walmart.
Correct.
Right.
Yeah, this is an old Walmart building that our landlord, a fantastic company and people, they bought the property off of Walmart through their Walmart realtors because Walmart owns everything, including the realty center. So they bought into it. They got the facility, and under the IDCA type setup, they were able to repurpose the building and then get a few tax breaks, which the government tries to incentive.
It's awesome. Right.
Part of that required that they did not put any, typical retail in here. So they're manufacturing. So they were a perfect fit, but they couldn't take the 100,000 some odd square feet of this place.
Sure, it's a monster, right?
Exactly. So Toyota, West Her, whatever, they came in and said, hey, we can use the parking lot part of it. And they went, okay, good. That's another repurposing. And then we had Napa next door to us.
Okay.
They're not retail because they are a distribution center for auto parts.
Gotcha.
So they had this piece of space left over.
Oh, yeah, what are we going
to do with
right.
it? So they went to the realtor and said, do you have any idea what we can do with this, fairly decent sized space here?
Right.
And he said, yeah, I know a guy who might be interested in doing that. And
really?
So
how did you know him?
I have a property up the street, so he was my realtor that was doing realty with this guy. So it's all who you know.
So it's all connected, right?
It's all connected through who you know.
It's all networking, sure.
It's networking, huge. So he came to me and he said, would you be interested? Started talking to him, and then we came in and we started designing where we were going to install walls, because 99% of what you see, with the exception of the outside walls, floor, and ceiling,
is all
was all constructed to build for Balance Magic, for Napa, for Worldwide.
Right.
So everything had to be conceived. How are we going to do this?
Sure.
So
now, your original facility was significantly smaller than this, or?
Correct. So this is about 20,000 square feet.
Wow.
And so is our Amber store.
Are you guys the biggest in the region?
You know what? I don't even want to go down that road anymore.
Right.
When we first started,
it's
most
just
definitely.
because it's cavernous when you walk in.
Yes.
This is a nice size.
Oh,
and
definitely.
you got the high ceilings really help a lot too.
Really, at the end of the day, there are so many places that do entertainment now and do birthday parties. They each have their own design of what their birthay party and what they're doing.
Very specific.
Yeah, so for us to say, we are the largest in New York State anymore, it would be hard to guarantee that.
How do you
statement.
quantify that? Right.
Yeah.
Right. There's no way.
Because there's indoor people, there's outdoor, there's in and outdoor, there's family fun parks and like Darien Lake and stuff like that.
That's true, right? Yeah, I forget about that. Right. This
So-
isn't just what you're doing here.
Yeah.
It's encompassing the whole.
We
genre
are 20,000 square feet of indoor family fun and entertainment for kids, basically 10 and under. We used to go up to try to cater to the 18s, 17s, but we found that the mix of age and group didn't work too well.
Because it almost breaks the place. It compartmentalizes everything too much.
Just a little too much. The little kids, they want to play on these things and the slides, and the parents want to have safe place for the kids to play. So. We eventually decided we needed to back off of allowing adults and older kids as much. So now we work better with the younger crew.
But that's awesome though, like how big, because I mean it's like our business too. It's the same thing that we did. You don't know what you have. You have to build it, let it loose in the world, and see what the world says yes to. Yeah,
exactly.
Because you never know, and you find yourself going in a direction you might not have otherwise thought.
Well, 16 years in the business, and we are still reinventing different aspects of it on a daily basis.
But that's awesome.
Yeah.
And it's good that you guys are so independent because you can do whatever the heck you want. And
we're 100% independent for everything that we have and done. My wife and I have put
and your wife is Barb, right? Who I met first before you.
Yes, she's the one that conned me. I mean, convinced me into this interviewing type stuff. She doesn't like doing these interviews, so you may or may not get her on camera.
Okay.
But I definitely have a manager who would be more than happy to say a few words.
Yeah, she was awesome. Yeah, I met her last year up in the office. So you guys started in Orchard Park. The facility was significantly smaller than this, so you needed some elbow room.
Well, we actually ended up doing there is that one of the landlord of that property, they moved their business to a new location, so the suite beside us became available.
I see.
So we expanded by another 4 or
Wow.
5,000 feet.
So one, you were in Orchard Park,
Yes.
smaller facility. You expanded to next door, doubled
In
your
Orchard
size,
Park.
pretty much.
No, we went from 7 to just around about 10,000. So
Okay.
we added about another 3,000 square feet of
But
entertainment.
in the end, you were feeling you were feeling kind of stiff there, or I mean, how did
tight?
this? What
Yes.
was the primary decision to come over here? Was it the proximity? To,
Actually, the primary decisioning behind that was the fact that by that point, we had also started our Amherst location.
I see.
And in Amherst, we had opened up in the Boulevard Mall, and we had a fantastic relationship with the management there. So it gave us the opportunity to get in and just build out an empty space, an old Comp USA building.
Okay.
And they were like, well, if we don't have to put anything in here, then you can have it for a period of time. Well, when we realized how much we needed this space and how we could do with more space for more bounce houses, mini golf sections and game sections and all sorts of activities.
Sure.
We realized very quickly that down here in Orchard Park, we were constrained by our size for what we could potentially do.
I see.
So then when this opportunity started to come our way, it was a no-brainer just to say, what, just pick up roots and let's move.
Sure.
So
now,
that's
where
what
were
we
you in
did.
Orchard Park?
Straight up the street on Route 20.
But it wasn't as visible location, would you say? Maybe.
Really, it may have been more visible than this location because it was right on Route 20, and the sign was right on Route 20.
Okay. Then it would be.
It was an oversized sign.
So it's
that
about the
permission,
same,
so-
yeah.
So yeah.
But your proximity to the mall is nice, and that whole strip here.
Yeah.
So you're more in like a larger commerce center.
We're one of the reasons Walmart moved out of here, aside from the size, was just the fact that it was set back and forgotten off of the main corner.
Right.
It didn't own the corner.
I see.
And a lot of traffic and visibility is spaced by owning the
Right,
owning
that
the
plot.
visual.
Right.
So since they didn't own it, they moved down the street. They're doing whatever they're doing down
Sure.
there. And us, we're doing the best we can back here.
Yeah.
So
That's awesome.
That's
There's
why
always-
we need people like you to get the word out so more
we
people
are.
show up.
Yeah. Now, what's your favorite aspect of the business?
Doing interviews with people like you.
So you don't have to be out there.
We are not even going to comment on being out there.
It's funny. I grew up in a restaurant, and when I have probably about a couple dozen clients that are like this, not in this direct business, but a restaurant, a busy place, and I walk in because I'm pretty insular now.
Yeah.
It's me, a crew. Sometimes it's just me for a couple weeks, and I forget what I grew up with. It's a lot.
Yeah.
To deal with.
It is
Your
out
kids
there.
are hustling out there,
Yeah.
man. You got a good crew.
Yep,
here.
they're
Yeah.
fantastic. We hire a lot of young people, and they're in school and everything.
First job type of
Their
situation.
First job many times.
Right. But
Some
you know
of them
what?
use this as a second job because we only need them on weekends and
Sure.
stuff. So
And you're fluctuating obviously throughout the seasons, but you guys just opened up your ice cream stand was opened up last year or the
3
year
years
before,
ago.
3 years ago.
3 years ago.
And I mean that's great to have.
well,
for the
that had
summer.
its own underlying purpose. Ice cream was an idea that I came up with after reading a magazine in the usual magazine reading location. And I saw this
Very
big pie chart.
diplomatically put.
I saw this big pie chart
Right.
about entertainment centers because we constantly read and develop and learn.
Sure.
And one of these was showing how much ice cream and the revenues thereof, the profit margins and everything. And I looked at it and went, well, if we're looking to do something else to build the business, this is very profitable apparently.
Right.
So let's talk about it. And then the next part came to mind, discussing with my wife and stuff like that. Was
Sure.
like, well, this is a summertime thing. We don't
Sure.
need an ice cream stand in the winter.
Right.
We're too busy doing everything else.
Now, not to cut you off, but do you still, because that's a great little facility over there.
Yeah.
So do you still, have you integrated ice cream into the full menu and you still utilize
No.
that and off? No.
No, it's
It just
gets
strictly
too
seasonal?
much.
Yeah.
It's strictly seasonal. But what it does is it allows us to actually maintain employment of more staff.
Sure.
So in the past, for many years, we would lay them off, or they would just get other jobs, and we'd have to start with training all over
Yeah, and if they're a
again.
good
We'd
employee,
lose them.
it's right.
They're like, well, what am I here for? It's Saturday, and there's like 1-2 parties, and nobody's showing up because it's a beautiful sunny day. That's if they wanted to show up.
Sure.
And now it was like, well, let's put in an ice cream shop. Now they've got a job.
You know what you need?
What?
Expandable roof. Just let the sun shine in.
We'll move over to the stadium. I hear they've got an open roof.
Yeah, just have a,
Yeah.
a convertible roof. You'll be all set. So the kids too. I mean, that's a huge component of your business, obviously, because these kids are representing you
Kids
every
are our
single
business.
moment.
The adults just come along to bring
Sure.
the wallet.
Oh no, I mean even your employees. I mean,
You
it's
missed
a really
a good
nice,
line there. You know that.
What did I say?
You missed a good line. I said the kids are our customer. The
Yeah.
parents just come along with their wallet.
Wow, that's true.
Right? But we're not here to cater to the parents. We
No.
give them things to do and take care of them as best we can,
Right.
food and some arcade activities. But the kids are our customer.
Sure.
You know, they're the ones that we tell our staff, you need to cater to them. When they come up to the counter, they're the one you address.
Yeah.
You don't talk to the parent.
But isn't
And
that a
ignore the
differentiator
kid.
though? Because when I was a kid, I don't remember that ever happening. You know,
It's-
as
Yeah.
you know, genuine as that is. You know,
It's
So-
it's the way we want the business to run.
That's
it's
awesome.
about the kids.
well, sure, and it gives the kids respect. You know?
Totally.
And,
And they're all, you know, me and about us and
Sure.
all entitled, so why not just endorse that too?
why not reinforce the
Why not reinforce it
extreme
and make money
entitlement of the
and make
last
money
three
off of it at the
generations?
same
Right?
time? Yeah.
That's awesome.
So-
So, all right. So you came here. You've got your business. How long have you been here?
In this location,
Yeah.
5 years now.
So 5 years, and you were in Orchard Park for 3.
No, in Orchard Park, we still have our warehouse there, so it's not like we actually left.
Do you really?
Yeah, it's a warehouse for all
Sort of bounce
leftover
houses
bounce
and-
houses.
So
and
now
equipment.
you don't do external events at all, do you?
We try very hard not to,
it's
but
just too much.
Benderson reached out to us a couple of years ago, so we've done an
So you have done
outdoor
some.
event
Okay.
with Benderson. They have a train ride and then a fall fest
Right.
up at one of their plazas up on the boulevard.
Well, because I would think your experience, you know, I mean, running this,
Yeah.
because it's one, because you know, there's a lot of bounce house companies, but how many run it like you run this? I mean, this is like a well-oiled machine. you
Yeah,
know?
but we're not designed for the outdoors.
Right.
You know, our staff isn't designed for the requirements. Bounce houses outdoors have a totally different ruling.
Oh, I didn't know.
You got to remember that our staff is here and designed to work with customers, work with the redemption, work with sales over the counter. They're not actually
corralling, like
they're
and
not
try to
bounce house
patrolling.
attendants in the
Right.
sense, in the true sense of it. So when you go and you rent a bounce house
Mm-hmm.
and they give you waivers and information and all that stuff,
Right.
our staff would need that just as much. So when we do outside events, I am 100% involved in every one of them.
I see.
Because I'm the one that makes sure that they're tied down right. I'm the one that makes sure that if the wind kicks up, they have to come down. I'm the one that
Right.
makes sure the cords and mats
Everything's done correctly.
correctly,
Right.
because they aren't trained for that. That's not what we're here for.
Right.
We're an indoor facility. You come here, I guarantee you that all our bounce houses are safe because there's no weather, there's no wind.
Sure.
They're tied down or sandbagged down. The mats are where they need to be.
Right.
You know, and they're checked, cleaned, and inspected
Do you change out your bounce houses occasionally, or
when we can afford it.
yeah?
They're not cheap.
No,
so,
I can only imagine, dude.
You know, so
You know.
and some of them last a really long time. I mean, there's a couple out there like the elephant.
Well, that's why I asked, because I mean they take a beating.
Yeah.
You know, continually,
Yeah,
like for 10 hours a day for 8 months out of the year.
And again, the industry, when they invented the inflatable,
Mm-hmm.
they were not inventing it with the idea in mind that these things were going to be
Permanent,
inflated
like-
7 days a week,
Right.
you know, for 80 hours, and then have 800 kids a week bouncing through these
Beating
things.
it, right.
The entire industry, once they did develop it, turned it into a backyard rental business.
I see.
So it was designed to be there for a couple, 3 hours out on the grass.
Right.
20
Durability
kids
wasn't
tops.
as much of an issue. Right.
So the industry has changed. So when we go to buy ones that are suitable for being indoors and use as much,
Right.
the price is like, you know, 1.5 to 2 times more.
Well, sure, because you're paying for that ability.
Right.
To
You go to
retain
Walmart or you go online and you go, oh look, there's a bounce house for $3.99.
Sure.
You know, for my backyard, includes a blower. You know, and it's like, yeah, but it's,
Right.
it's such
Yeah,
a
but
thin
it's cheap,
vinyl.
yeah.
It's cheap. It
and it's
lasts
going
a
to tear
couple-
quick, right?
It's
now,
not going to handle the number of kids.
But I mean,
we
you
do.
guys are providing a really great service. Period.
hope so.
I mean, so if, you know, I don't have kids, but if I had kids or my
Would
sisters,
you like some? We got a few spare out there.
Are you do you have an adoption corral?
No, there's some people that just want to drop them and run.
And run.
Here, you keep them.
But you guys, I mean, so if my sister wants to throw a party and she wants to run a bounce house, and she's got to make the food or she's got to order the food, everybody's over at the house, it turns into an ordeal. It really does for everybody. Even if you enjoy it, there's still a back end and a front end to that
Oh,
are
yeah.
tough. And you're providing a one-stop shop,
For all of that.
yeah, for all of that, which is
One-
a really big deal for parents.
One of our sales pitches that we periodically use around here, depending on our training, obviously, is that this takes away the headache that mom gets, which is you need to clean the house before the party, you need to clean the
Clean it
house
after.
after the party.
Sure.
That doesn't include the party.
Yep.
That is just preparing the house to have
Or the
people come in.
food, right.
Then you have to clean the house after everyone's been there
Yep.
because it's going to be a mess to some extent.
Sure.
So you take those two things out, you would think that we were booked solid every single weekend because who wants to clean their house twice in the same day?
Right. Well, do you remember when we first met? I honestly assumed during the warm season, I really thought you guys would be as busy as the winter just because of that convenience. Now, granted,
True.
there's a lot more parties during the summer, but I don't want to. My sister doesn't. They all complain about it.
Yeah.
You know, you have to dress up your house. You got to dress it down. You got to order the food. You have 50 people over at your house. It's a lot.
Well, and one of the other things is that most often you aren't cooking pizza in your own house.
no.
So
Not like this.
somebody who wants to be home, like the dad usually,
Right.
not stereotyping, but us dads, we're the first ones to say, "Yeah, I'll go pick up the pizza and pop out of here."
right.
You know?
Totally. Yeah, my dad would do that, of course.
Right.
Now, you guys, do you have a takeout business as well?
We have the availability to
Because I
offer
just
takeout.
saw some guy pick up 2 pizzas, and I was surprised.
Cool.
Yeah, I was like,
I like
really?
that.
Yeah. When I walked in, he had
Yeah.
two pies in his hand.
We
so.
are a full-fledged pizzeria.
Right.
I mean, we
And it's
we stretch our-
recipes. It's your recipe, or
No, the dough is a dough ball that we get that many people get from a local pizzeria in the area.
Awesome. So it's locally made.
So it's locally made, and it comes to us through our distributor.
Mm-hmm.
Then what we'll do is we take it from their flash frozen dough balls.
Okay.
Then we take care of it. From there, it's up to us to stretch it properly, proof it properly, do all the rest of the stuff. We just don't have the Hobart mixer and putting it all together.
Sure.
There's no point. The cost variable is just not.
No,
worth
that's
it
how
at
I
this
grew up,
point.
man, and it's a lot. And
It is.
in anything, and if you have a weather situation, or you have a batch of dough that's off or old, or somebody inadvertently
Somebody screws up and forgets to put an ingredient
the lard, or and
Yeah.
you're ending up with 2-3 bags.
of garbage.
Yeah, gone.
Yeah.
So it's not worth it, and then you're backed up. It's a mess. And
Yeah.
this is actually a lot of places are doing this now.
They are,
And it's-
because now somebody who cares about making dough can actually
Right.
take 100% of downtime, quiet time, focus
Yep.
time, make dough that is consistent,
Yeah, that's
both
what I was
in
gonna
size
say,
and
right.
quality.
Yep.
Which then, because people go to McDonald's here as much as they go across the country to
Sure.
a McDonald's, they expect that Big Mac to be that Big Mac.
And that's the thing, when I grew up, I'm 50, and this all kind of really came to play, I think, in the late 70s through the 90s, where our expectation is, this has got to be what my expectation is, period, or I'm not going to be happy. So for
Yeah.
something like that, that's a big deal,
Yes.
Now, you guys have other foods, obviously.
Yep.
Right?
So aside
Finger
from the
foods,
hand
hamburgers.
stretched, handmade pizza that we put through our own ovens and all that, we also have fryers, grill top, flat top. So our kitchen setup is a pretty vast menu. I'm sure
Okay.
you'll show that.
Yeah, well. Yeah, we'll
Whatever.
try to get them cooking.
Yes. As long as you only show her hands.
Yeah, I know, she was pretty.
Yeah,
she,
I
yeah,
about
she
that.
was like, nope.
Some people just don't want to be
No, I
stars.
know.
Hi, I'm a star.
No, it is what
So-
it is.
so,
But
yeah,
it's a
so
pretty
we-
big menu. Yeah, I've seen it before, so we'll show it.
Yeah, we do everything from wings, subs, funnel cake. Funnel cakes? No, we got rid of that. We're now doing fried dough. That's the new,
Oh, that's
new
awesome.
replacement.
Right.
The newest thing is pizza. Pizza logs are now also
Are they pizza logs?
apple logs.
Oh, really?
So-
So like an empanada,
Yeah,
but
something
like
like
an
that.
Italian version of an
Yes.
empanada. That's
So-
awesome.
So they literally, we go to food shows, we find a new product, our reps find a new product,
Mm-hmm.
we try it out, and if the people like it, so
Sure.
it's perfect.
My
It's-
ex-girlfriend, pizza
Yeah.
logs and chicken fingers.
Yep.
Like every night for months.
Well,
So.
Our chicken fingers here are not the mashed together.
Oh, you
sort
do
of
the
chicken
full
stuff.
breast or the
They are
the split
full
breast or-
tenderloin.
Yeah.
And a tenderloin means that when you take it off of the chicken breast and then bread it and cook it and everything, when you get it out, it actually pulls apart like chicken.
That's great.
So it is a very high quality. Now our nuggets, on the other hand,
They're nuggets.
they're nuggets.
That's the expectation.
Kids want-
I honestly think in our restaurant we tried doing
boneless wings.
Well, this is back in the '90s.
Oh, before
So-
they even invented
Yeah,
it.
so when we first got in there, when I took it over and we moved it out to East Aurora, my big thing was everything's got to be handmade, right?
Yeah.
So for the first 3 months, we tried doing handmade chicken nuggets. This is no joke. Handmade chicken nuggets and handmade fingers, and it was.
It's a nightmare.
People loved them, but you can't. But kids didn't like the nuggets.
Right.
Because it wasn't that, their
That
expectation is it's
consistency.
going to be this, there's
Mushy
a texture.
consistency,
Yeah.
yeah.
So now every so often you introduce a new menu item as.
Or we pull stuff off. I mean, we've been doing pulled pork, and we've been doing
Primarily
roast
for the
beef
adults?
that's all in-house cooked.
Wow, really?
Yeah, like
Oh, that's great.
we cook our own pulled pork,
Kimberly
and that's
roll
like 13,
or-
14 hours of cooking time.
Right.
Our roast beef is slow cooked over about 5 or 6 hours.
I knew this. We'd be doing a diners, drive-ins, and dives thing out here. I had
you
no
can
idea.
do that one next
I
week.
had no idea. Really?
Oh, yeah.
So but that's for the parents primarily, right? Or
It's a menu item, so we do some of our birthday parties that we do are just pizza and wings and sub trays. Things
so
like
it's a way
that.
to almost kick it up a
But we
notch.
also have our family parties, team parties. So when you get into those, now we have a buffet option.
Oh, that's a great
So
idea.
we actually lay out a full buffet that has either sheet pizza and wings
Okay.
with the typical celery and
Sure.
carrots, or we can do a roast beef. We've got one that just is going on, what's today, Saturday?
Mm-hmm.
So we've got a roast beef buffet up in Amherst.
Wow.
So they'll be laying out the roast beef. It's a fresh vegetable or a frozen fresh vegetable type
Right.
mix that will be put out there. We do pasta, rigatoni, or spaghetti and meatballs with that. It's all laid out for 20, 30 people.
That's fantastic. And that's not what you would expect.
No.
At all.
And that's all homemade. I
Really?
mean, that pasta, we don't make the pasta.
Oh, sure. But the sauce.
who does?
No, nobody does.
But
I think Elio
it's-
DePaulo still makes it, but that's about it.
Yeah, but so we take our own pasta
Mm-hmm.
and boil it. When it's brought out, we do our own sauce method.
Wow.
With the sauce that we have, we make our own pizza. We make our own roast beef.
That's
We're
great.
doing barbecue chicken next week down here.
Really?
So that one will have all hind quarters of chicken. So there'll be nice big pieces.
So this kitchen. So I
All
only
cooked
took
here.
a peek, but it's a big facility here then.
it's decent.
Pretty
I wouldn't
decent.
say big. It's
I mean, you're
decent.
making a large quantity of food.
Yeah.
I mean,
We can eat. Our landlord comes over once a year for their Christmas party here, and they bring in 100 people, and we serve 100 people
Wow.
At their company party.
right. So I don't think a lot of people realize how much of a component the food is. I think when you come here as a family, you're thinking food is the
Is it-
afterthought, but for you, it's really half of your entire business, if not more. Really.
Well, we
to a
want it to
degree.
be, but
Sure.
in all honesty, it's a hidden secret, if you will,
Right.
because people come here and they go. Beef on whack? How good can that be? Where's their kitchen? What the hell?
I didn't know you had a kitchen like this here until just now.
Well,
So
that's why you're here. You
But
gotta-
it's but it's awesome that you have this facility here. Now, do you make all the food here and take it up to Amherst, or do you have a similar? kitchen?
Amherst has a half version of this kitchen. So we do like the roast beef here. We do all
Larger.
of our cooking here.
Okay.
And then we put it in appropriate, coolers and stuff, and transport it directly up
Nice.
to their fridges and stuff like that. So at their facility, it looks like it's being
Okay.
made there, but it's made by the company,
Sure.
which is very common.
Yeah. Oh, it's totally. And now the Amherst facility has been there about the same length of time.
Yeah, they've been there 8 years now.
Okay.
At that particular spot.
Okay.
I think it is.
Are you?
6 or 8.
I mean, that's a good spot
It's
for
hard
you
to
guys.
remember all these details.
Yeah.
It's not bad.
Yeah.
I mean,
I mean, it's
being in the
I think it's a good
boulevard-
spot because you guys you have a large, to try to pop that onto a primary thoroughfare because you're just off of.
We're just set back on
Yeah.
Maple Road there.
But I think that's a smarter business decision than just saying, "Oh, we're right here," because you would have to get your return on your investment. That's tough sometimes.
Yeah.
And then you're like, "Is this really worth it?" Where back there, I think it gives you a
Yeah,
little
if
bit
any
more.
realtors happen to see this video
Mm-hmm.
and want to give me a shout about a property or building or a development,
We'll put your number up.
throughout Amherst,
We'll put your cell
please,
number up.
Give me a shout. We're always looking for a place to
Awesome.
set up shop 100%.
Yeah.
Because right now we're just playing the lease and go game.
Okay.
And
I have another question too that's been popping up in my brain since I met you guys. I never asked Barb. Your name, is that trademarked?
yes,
Really? That's awesome.
Yes,
It's a
it
great
is.
name.
I,
I mean, it's perfect.
my wife came up with that one, so
Yeah.
good job.
Yeah, it's perfect
She's
for
gonna
it.
love you extra for that.
I mean,
great name, it's
three,
wonderful.
Well, 3 syllables. It's easy
Yeah.
to remember. It is what it is. We did the same thing with this show, and when I met Barb, we were under a different name, and it was about 1.5 years of development, and a name and a brand.
Yeah.
In this day and age, it is everything.
Yep.
It's got to be quick. It's got to be simple. But what you did was define what the business is within the context of the name, which I thought was great. You know, so and it's not a boring
magical experience.
Yes. Yeah. Well, you
And
got
your
the
kids get to bounce.
well, the bounce house logo. I mean, it's a great like brand. It's a great logo, and it's instantly recognizable. So, and I'm sure that's got to help your business at some point.
Yep.
Because I mean, it's almost like if you think about a bounce house locally, you think of you guys.
We hope so.
You know, you do. And I don't even think does Chuck E. Cheese. They don't have. So now, what's an usual day like for you? I mean, right from the get go, is it crazy? Or?
It really just on the weekends depends on the day. Some days, 11 o'clock, the door is open. There's a line out the door, and it's just crazy. And then you have random days like today where it was 11 o'clock and there was no one at the door, and it took an hour or two for this place to warm up, and then it took off
That's
from there,
the
and we've
restaurant,
been
right.
running around
Yeah,
with it,
it's the restaurant
all day.
thing.
Exactly.
Awesome, yeah.
And you can't really gauge it, but
Now, summer obviously are your slow season.
Yep.
And winters are your busy. Spring and fall are just fluctuating depending upon the weather.
Weather,
that type of thing.
absolutely.
So is it kind of an awareness thing too? People almost come into this mode of like, oh, okay, now we can go,
It's bounce magic time.
Right. And parties, you guys do all sorts of parties. Do you ever do adult? There's no like. What is there a weight limit on the bounce houses? Like, can adults bounce in those too?
The family
Have you
play
ever done
area.
like corporate bonding? Like,
We haven't had any adult
No, 'cause
parties
I
yet.
feel like
No,
it
I
gets
mean,
kind of funky. They're little kid games and stuff, but I'm just thinking off the top of my head. So it's primarily kids. Your demographic is what, 12 and under?
yeah, 12 and under. Usually, just about 2 to 8 is that sweet spot that
And
we're
now
looking
you were
at.
here through that development because Tim had talked about trying to get teens, and you had to find your niche, just like everybody else.
Right.
You know what I mean? You're like, okay, wait a second, this is what we do best. And
The one thing Tim always says to me, and it's in one of those running inside jokes, is one, it'll be there tomorrow. So sometimes,
right.
like if you can't get everything done in one day, he'll just be like, it'll be there tomorrow, Megan. It's gonna be here tomorrow.
That's awesome.
Don't worry. Don't stress about it right now. The other thing too
That's a good boss,
is time will pass. So he's like, no matter how busy and crazy it is, time is gonna
it
pass.
Ends. I used to say this. Yep.
It ends, and I know at some point the shift's gonna be over.
So I used to say 7 o'clock's coming, people.
Yeah.
Because we would
It's on its way. It's only 2, but it's on its way.
Yeah, and we were all like at 4, I would
Right.
say, because you'd see this like panicked
Right.
look, and then sometimes they and it depends on so many things.
So many.
Did they have a bad day, a good day? Did they get sleep? Were they out drinking the night before? And they come in. If they're not prepared for that, then it shoulders, a lot on you to make sure that your troops see this battle to the end of the line. And that's really sometimes what it is. And if you have a bad attitude, you're the mom.
Yes.
You are. So if a mom's in a car and she's driving, she starts getting cranky, the kids get cranky. She starts yelling, the kids cry. So and it really trickles down. It rolls downhill from Tim to you.
When I was working in Amherst, it was the same thing, except for I had Shelby, and at that point, she was more of like the eldest sibling who would do like, mom's getting cranky, be on your best behavior.
Right.
So I could be cranky.
Right.
Where then when I came down here didn't have a Shelby, I was just like, oh, I can't be cranky because there's no one to like whip these kids back in the line. Like they're gonna be cranky if I'm cranky. It's just I had to learn like how to adjust and be like,
it's hard.
I don't care how mad I am. I have to go scream into a pillow in my office, come back out with a big smile, and be like, okay, guys, let's see where we went wrong.
Well, and I can give you.
I learned to grow as a manager that way, and I love it. So.